Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. Today is the time that I update you on my compost pile. But before we do that, just in case you don't stick around to the end, I want to give you a huge weather warning. So, this weekend, as we get through the week, there's a huge storm coming down the coast of California that's going to make things pretty chilly here in the low desert of Arizona. So, um, Friday morning and Saturday morning, let's see, and Sunday morning are going to be, Sunday morning is going to be really, really chilly. Like my forecast is showing as low as 36. So if you have things like I do, tomatoes, peppers, not winter stuff, not the stuff that's on our planting calendar, you want to get that stuff covered up or in your greenhouse. Like I said, especially for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. Okay, so to get back to my compost, we did a big, huge, major turn. I've been feeding my compost pile every single week, and I got my big, hunky husband to help me do a turn. So I want to jump over and check out us turning our compost, and then I'm going to chat with you about those results. So I've got my hunky husband over here so that I can give you a really good view of turning our compost bin. So here we go. Twist. Try to go all the way down to the bottom. And I usually twist around the edges too. This edge. And twist there. Over here you can see there's some really nice looking decomposition going on there. That's looking so good. Just make a couple more deep twists in it. Yeah. The cool thing is we're not seeing any pumpkin, any kind of vegetables. Nothing that we put in there, besides the leaves. So that is really awesome. That's a good working pile. You got money, but you need to get your brother out there. You can't be talking to people at the street. Don't you think it looks good? Okay, just kind of get it all packed down, kind of bring it all to the middle, like work all the sides to the middle real good. Yeah, like that. Oh, there's a little lip right there, yeah. Pen that down right there. Yeah. Awesome possum. So what you saw and what my husband and I kind of chatted about, that it was really amazing to see that the compost pile has consumed everything that I've put in there. And I put some massive pumpkins in there in the last month. I've been feeding every single week. But what's come clear to us is that I've got a way more browns than I do have greens. So my plan from here on out, instead of continuing to add leaves on, is I'm just going to kind of make a pocket in the middle, put my greens in there, and continue to use the leaves that are still in the bin. So the thing that's important for me in this regard, and this is a tip that I want to share with you, is that obviously beyond the fact that I was putting a lot of browns on top of my greens kind of aren't keeping up with as much compost as I want to make right now. And so I've got two solutions for you. One, a simple one, is to contact some food banks that are near you or around you. I've seen on Nextdoor several times where they've got produce that's about to go bad in large quantities. And so if you can reach out to them and either give them your number for when they have those overflows that are about to go to waste, or if they presently have them, then maybe you can make that connection to get those greens for your compost pile. A second awesome resource, and this is not just for your compost pile, this could also be for your family, and quite honestly, we've done it more than one time. That's kind of how I knew about it a long time ago when we were first together. But the program is put on by a group called borderlandsrescue.org. I think I got that right. If not, check the description. So one of their programs is called Produce on Wheels Without Waste. So it's like POWWOW, and you can find them easily on Facebook if you do that. So what their initial platform is to reduce the amount of food that goes into the landfill, which just kind of interacts with the climate in negative ways, yada yada yada. So for on the consumer side of it, you can pay $12 and get like 70 pounds of produce. And like I said, we've gotten the produce before. Usually when you get it, it's a good idea to either share what you're not going to use, or immediately process it, meaning freeze it, put it away some way, preserve it, because it's just kind of stuff that's on the edge. Still good, still in great condition, and some of it's even better than that, but it is on the edge. So it's just got a couple of weeks, maybe at that, a week or two, that would be good. So not only have we went and gotten food from those organizations, we've also volunteered a couple of times with them. And through volunteering, I come to know that as the volunteers are putting out food for people to come by and pick up, there's also a couple of different bins that are already full of the food that's already perished. So that right there is an awesome way. That food that's already perished is an awesome way to also feed your compost bin. So there's always volunteers there. You can either get some food for yourself and then pair out from that and feed your compost, or you can just go up to one of the volunteers and say, hey, I understand what you're doing here. I'm really just looking to get some stuff for my compost pile. I'm wondering if I can go over to those waste bins and fill up a couple of my buckets. And they will be so grateful for you to do that, because otherwise they still have to pack it up and find a way to take it back and dispose of it. And there's no income limits for the produce program if you want to do that. It's just, again, their goal is to get fresh fruits and vegetables accessible to people, and also to keep them from going to the landfill. So very soon I'm going to connect with either a food bank near me, or there's a pop-up this weekend on the 13th. So that's another thing, is you can either go into their website, which I believe is borderlandsfoodrescue.org, or their Facebook page, and you can get a calendar of where they're going to be and when they're going to be there. So they're all over the Phoenix metro. They also do it down in Tucson, and it starts early in the morning, so that's kind of the first pick. But if you're interested in that, check it out, because like I said, it's a really awesome resource. And if you're like me and you're really trying to build up a lot of compost for the spring, then this is a way to kind of exceed what your family is producing in food waste, and fill your compost bin with all that matter that you want going forward into the future. So I hope that you heed my advice and get your tender and delicate plants covered up this weekend. There's also going to be rain, so you kind of have to play that game where you want to let stuff get wet, but you don't want your coverings so much to get wet. So it's going to be a little bit of a strategy game for all of us. I'm going to put some of the things that I care most about in the greenhouse, though that being like, my Cherokee purples, my larger variety tomatoes that I'm really just trying to get big plants for so that they're ready in the spring. Those will go into the greenhouse, and then I'll cover up as much of the other stuff as I can in my yard. I hope that you enjoyed this compost update. This is going into my compost journal. As always, I hope that it encourages you to compost, either on little bitty scales or on big scales, whatever your garden allows. Ultimately, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have the best day ever, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.